Hope you all successfully created a table and inserted records into that table. So I'll provide my solution, so please compare with my solution. So first we want to create a table, so we need to know the table name, so which is ATM transactions. Create column table ATM underscore transactions, and we need to create fields into the table. So the field names here, it's already mentioned, right? So I'll take them as it is. Transaction ID, city, location, amount. So we have 5 fields: transaction ID, city, location, amount, and integer nvarchar 25, 100, and decimal should be the requirement is 2 decimals after the decimal point, 2 values after the decimal. So let's take 10.2. Okay, and time is going to be timestamp. It's a data type. We have this data type available, right? Okay. If you want to maintain the case like C is capital and I, TY is in small, then keep them in double quotes. Then when you create the table, it will maintain the case, upper and lower cases of city. Okay, so nvarchar length, here we will delete this length and keep them in brackets. Okay, so we'll go through each condition and update this table. So each transaction is uniquely identified by a transaction ID. Okay, by a transaction ID, and with auto increment of 1, starts with 100. So uniquely identified by each transaction ID, so we can put primary key, or you can use unique also. I'm going with primary key. And he mentioned auto increment of 1 starts with 100. So we know generated by default as identity and starts with 100. So the primary key is going to make this column unique, and generated by default as identity is the keyword to generate the transaction IDs automatically, and starts with 100 makes the number starts from 100. Okay, so let's keep the comma. Okay, second condition is, while inserting data, location can be unknown but not the city and amount. Okay, so location we will ignore. City and amount should not be unknown. That means should not be null. Not null. And amount not null. Okay. And location can be null, so we are not going to mention anything. So that's second condition. So third condition, if no location mentioned, then default value is 1 ATM in the city. So if it's a small city, so if we have only 1 ATM, then only we need to mention like location data instead of keeping that blank or null. So keep the default value. Default 1 ATM in the city. Okay. then time should capture automatically when transaction happen. So that means we need to give some default value here as well. Default. So for the default automatic timestamp is that is called timestamp. We have a timestamp, so you can something try like this. Select star. Okay, select current date from dummy. When you run this, you see the current date, right? So like that, instead of current date, I am going to use current timestamp. So current timestamp, we are getting that. So default current timestamp. Okay. And time should capture automatically with transaction. Okay. The last thing is explain about transaction ID as transaction identification. So that's as you understand, this is a comment, and comment we can solve it later. So first we will create a table, see if any errors happens and how the definition of the table is going to be. So let's run this. Okay, cannot use duplicate table name. So I have this table already, so let me remove that, because to prepare this exercise I created this. Okay, yeah, okay, anyway, so we'll create new, because of that sequence it's not allowing me to delete it. So let's go with transactions underscore 1. Okay, so it's successfully executed, and let's see the table. Okay, so here we have transaction ID as a key, not null. City and amount are not null, and integer and varchar decimal timestamp, and the default value for location is 1 ATM in the city, and default value for time is current timestamp. Okay, perfect. It looks very good, and so we'll test this table by inserting some data. Okay, so what we know is insert into table name. So I'll drag the table name, and so here we are not going to insert the records, because what we need to insert, so this is the insert records, and this is automatically generated, and this is automatically getting generated. So we are not going to give all 5 columns, only 3 columns we are going to input. So in that case, what we need to do is first we need to list out the columns. Insert into table the column names, city, location, and amount. These are the 3 columns we are going to insert, and the values to that column. Values, city is going to be New York, right? And location, Capital Boulevard. Amount 250. Okay, this is the first record we are going to insert. Execute, successfully created. Select star from ATM transactions 1. Okay, so we got the transaction ID 100 automatically created and timestamp inserted, the time right now. So this is CST time. I think, sorry, it's a UTC time. Okay, New York, Capitol Boulevard, amount 250. So this is perfect. So the next record is going to be so we have 3 records, right? So let's take 3 records. So next record is going to be Hyderabad, which is in India. High-tech city. That's the place where most of the ID companies are there in India. 0. So you can put null value to test it. It will fail because amount should not be null. That's the condition we kept. So for that reason I am keeping 0 and it's done. Okay, so the third one is Vatican City, but I am not going to give any location value, and amount is something. So if I don't want to give location, then I need to remove location here. And it's Vatican City, and we are not giving any location. So Vatican City is the smallest city in the world by place wise. So number can be anything, 300. Okay, so let's run our select star. Good. So this is what we are expecting, and all are created successfully, right? Okay, this is called positive testing. So we inserted the values what's supposed to be in the table, but there is another angle like negative testing. So let's do that. Insert into. So this time I am not going to use the column names. So I'll put like something like 900 for the transaction ID, and location is going to be some AAA. Street is going to be null. So it's not null, it's a blank. Location, city, location, and amount is something, and I'll put null. So we already tested this, right? So let's expand. Syntax error. Okay, here I need to mention values. Okay, it accepted. That means okay, so timestamp can be null. Anyway, that condition is not given in the requirement, so timestamp can be null, and we inserted a location. So if we are not going to insert any data for location, then automatically it will create 180 AM in the city. But when I mention the blank, then it's going to take the blank, and TID is supposed to be automatically generate, but when we exclusively mention the transaction ID, then it will take the transaction ID. Okay, so that's one case, and same case I am going to keep this also null. Okay, let's keep that null, and if I insert, it will fail because unique constraint violated. So this 900 should be some 909, anything. So if I run now, it's executed, because here I kept same like a previous example, I kept blank instead of null. So let's do that with null, and by changing it to some other value. Fail, cannot insert null or duplicate to null city. So city should be something. So let's give some AAA. Okay, so what's our other conditions? Amount not null. Okay, anyway, so like that you can do negative testing. And I would like to show you one more thing. While inserting data, you can use functions as well. Like here I can use now. Now means, so let's see what is that. Select star, select now from dummy. Invalid column name. Okay, maybe I executed incorrectly. So now is going to give the timestamp actually. So current timestamp. See here. So that's why I use the current timestamp in table definition. Okay. So like that we can use that now in the insert statement also. So let's change it to some other value. So if I insert this, okay, let's run the select star. Okay, here you can see that last record 918, city AA blank blank, timestamp came as the current timestamp. Okay, so like that you can use functions as well while inserting data into a table if it is compatible. Okay, so that's all about this answer solution to this exercise. See you in the next session. Bye.